Run!
Help!
It's burning! Get out of the way!
What would you do if the person who hated you most burned down everything you owned, and you were forced to beg on the same streets where people once respected you? Would you survive it, or would it break you? Daniel lived that reality. He started with nothing, just a small wooden shop in a busy market, a few goods, and a heart that refused to cheat people. He worked early mornings, closed late nights, treated every customer with respect, and sometimes, when people had no money, he still gave them food for free. And slowly people started coming, then more people, until his shop became one of the busiest places in the market. But someone was watching, someone who couldn't stand it. His former boss, a man he once had problems with. And while Daniel was growing, this man was silently breaking inside, watching customers leave his own shop to crowd around Daniel's. Jealousy growing day by day. Until one night, everything changed. Fire, screams, chaos. Daniel ran to the market only to see his shop completely in flames. Not damaged, not broken, gone. And as he stood there watching everything he built turn to ashes, he didn't know yet that this was just the beginning of his suffering. Because from that moment, his life collapsed. No savings, no support, nothing left. The man who once served customers with pride was now carrying heavy loads just to eat, cleaning, struggling, doing anything to survive. And on the worst days, he begged, standing by the roadside, hands stretched out, hoping someone would notice him. But most people walked past. Some didn't even recognize him anymore. Nights became unbearable, cold, hungry, alone, asking himself one painful question: why me? And just when it felt like life had completely finished him, something unexpected happened. One afternoon, a well-dressed man stopped in front of him, stared closely, and said, "Daniel, is that you?" Daniel was confused. He couldn't remember him, until the man said something that changed everything.
"Years ago, when I had nothing, you gave me food for free." And in that moment, Daniel realized something powerful. The small kindness he had forgotten had not been forgotten by life, because that same man had become successful. And right there on that dusty roadside, he offered Daniel a second chance, giving him money to start again. And this time, Daniel moved differently, stronger, wiser, more focused. He worked day and night, no excuses, no complaints. And slowly, things began to change. A small win, then another. And then everything shifted. Money started coming, customers returned, opportunities opened, until Daniel didn't just recover, he became richer than before. But the biggest moment was still waiting. Because one day, a man walked into his shop, looking thin, tired, broken. It was his former boss. But this time, there was no pride, no arrogance, just regret, deep regret. And then he said the words Daniel never expected to hear. "I was the one who burned your shop." Silence filled the air. All the pain, all the nights of suffering suddenly had a face. And in that moment, Daniel had a choice: revenge or something greater. But what he did next shocked everyone. He didn't shout, didn't fight, didn't even respond. He just looked at him and walked away, leaving him alone with his guilt. And that guilt became his punishment. It followed him every day, every night, turning into pain, then sickness, until he couldn't take it anymore. And he died, not from fire, but from regret. And in the end, one truth remained. Moral lesson: what you do to others will always find its way back to you. And the kindness you give, even when you have little, can return when you need it the most. So be careful how you treat people, because life never forgets. If this story touched you, don't stop here. Subscribe and share it with someone who needs this message today.